Melbourne, Australia's probably biggest claim to fame is its huge, impressive, beautiful tram network within the city and the outer suburbs. I've been on the system many times. It's honestly a marvel, which Sydney used to have, but people in the government back in the day said, no, buses are this new technology. We should use a bus instead of a tram. Trams are old, they smell, they make noises, whatever, I don't know, tram farts, I don't know, but we should remove those trams and their tracks and replace it with buses. Well, that was a terrible decision. Sydney is now completely, the government and the people living in Sydney terribly regret this decision. So now that we know this, that trams are incredible, and the cities that have ended up keeping their tram networks, not many compared to what it used to be. There used to be a lot of tram networks all around the world, and a lot of the cities demolished them, basically to add buses, this newfangled bus, with motor car. Can you believe that there's actually some people out there that want to still replace Melbourne's trams with a bus? But not just any bus, a tram-like bus. This new technology, newfangled thing from China. Australia, the world's most loved country at the moment, China. It's not even proved technology, and they want to reinvent the wheel. This is what we're going to be talking about. Melbourne's next generation trams could be trackless with rubber wheels. Now, this is the actual picture of what we're talking about. This is, once again, it's unproven technology. No one's really using this around the world at the moment, I don't believe. Yeah. Now, this article is just going to piss a lot of people off. It's pissing me off, honestly. We're going to read it anyway. Rubber wheels, electric batteries, no overhead wires. This could be the future of Melbourne trams. No! By 2025, brand new trams will be cruising through Melbourne's streets. We need new trams. Some of the older generation need to be updated. That makes sense. Thanks to a $1.5 billion Andrews government injection to fund 100 next generation trams, as long as they're trams with that go on railway tracks, then that's fine. Nimble, low floor, and energy efficient, the new vehicles will replace lumbering A and Z class trams that were built in the 1970s, 1980s. So this is the Z class tram on Wikipedia. If you guys want to read a bit about that, you can check it out, or pause the video. I don't know. As some of the history. This is the A class trams. Now, I've been in these trams many times before. They've got some steps to get up, and yeah, they're definitely old. But the time has to come. I understand that things need updating. Infrastructure needs to be bettered for the future public. I understand that. When you do get rid of them, Melbourne, please keep a few for heritage. But when you do replace your trams, don't get this piece of crap. Please don't be that person in history that everyone looks back on and says, why did you do that? Like, if you're one of the people right now in the government who has an option to make decisions based on this and that and this and that, if you go down this path to get to start replacing Melbourne's trams with these, basically a bus that looks like a tram, you're going to be the most hated person in history for that city that you're in, Melbourne, I'm guessing, okay? People are going to look back on you and say, you were the reason that Melbourne's trams started going downhill. You were the reason that they picked this new technology, and now that we look back on it in years' time, 20, 30, 50, 60 years' time, you're probably dead now, but 60 years' time, you were the reason that Melbourne now has no tram network, or very hardly, Don't go down this path. Now, of course, I'm not going to bag this technology out all the time. Of course, if you are a city that doesn't have a tram network and don't have much money, apparently, for whatever reason, maybe look into this technology then. But let's just do a bit more reading. Let's do a bit more reading into this actual article. This is from The Age, by the way. 2 manufacturers have been shortlisted to design and build the trams. French rail manufacturer Alstom, which acquired former tram manufacturer Bombardier. I didn't know there used to be a tram manufacturer. I've actually been on many Bombardier trains all around the world, including India. India has Delhi. New Delhi has an amazing metro system right now. A lot of them are from Bombardier. And a joint venture comprising Spanish rail maker CAF and UGL. While much of the design work will be done during the upcoming tender process. Some experts are calling, hang on, let me read that again. Some experts, no, you're not a freaking expert, go away. Some experts are calling for a radical transformation of Melbourne's tram technology that will bring the city's trams in line with China and Europe. You know, no, that's what people, like I just said, this is what people used to say back in the 50s and 60s when Sydney was removing the trams. I don't know why Melbourne didn't, but thank goodness they didn't. But, you know, that's what they used to say. Oh, this new technology, the bus is coming out, this new beautiful diesel bus, it's the way of the future, and no more smelly trams and whatever else, you know, they're noisy and they don't take people fast enough. I don't know. Sydney's paying for it big time. Traffic congestion, and Sydney wants to get a lot of its tram network back now. They're actually in the process of building, they have built a huge network, quite big now actually, but they want to build even more. Good. Yeah, these so-called experts, but others are calling for a measured approach, cautioning against reinventing the wheel on a system that has worked relatively well for over a century. Absolutely, don't reinvent the wheel. It works fine. Trams work fine as they are. What will the trams look like? A smaller, at 25 meters long, about 8 meters shorter than the newest E-Class trams. This is the newer E-Class trams, by the way, right there. If you guys want to pause that, feel free. So shorter than the newer E-Class trams, the next generation trams will carry 150 passengers. This is fewer than the E-Class trams, which will carry 210 people. Now, despite the smaller size, seating will remain proportional compared with the E-Class, with 48 people, or a third of passengers getting a seat on the new fleet. When it comes to trams, size really does matter. That's what she said. That's what she said, everybody. When with chronic overcrowding on busy routes, creating a need for larger vehicles. Now, manufacturers are now being asked to provide an option for a 35-meter long tram, but smaller size trams are being prioritized so they can run along tight curbs on parts of the network that are inaccessible to E-Class trams. They will also be lighter, avoiding the need for expensive bridge strengthening works, which was required when the heavy E-Class trams were rolled out. I'm not going to read all of this. You know, I'm not going to be the poster boy for this technology. I'm a train guy. If you're the kind of person who wants to rip up a rail network to basically have a bus that looks like a tram, then, you know, don't talk to me. Pretty much, leave me alone. Do not subscribe to my channel if that's who you're all about. Oh God, hopefully no one's left my channel. Probably 10 people have left. No, 100 people have left. Damn it! Time for trackless trams. Let's read this. Hopefully not. They're like electric buses, but better. So-called trackless trams, built and now operating in China, are battery-powered vehicles with rubber wheels that use sensors rather than steel tracks to run. New South Wales and Western Australian governments are looking to roll these trams out. No, God, please, no! With the Morrison government putting $2 million into a business case for the such trams in Perth. This is what I think about when I hear about this.
No, God!
You know? No. Just...
No, God, please, no!
Please, no. Just no.
No!
No.
No!
No! Yeah, so look, that's just been a quick little thing about that. Was there anything else I wanted to show you guys? Maybe there is. I don't know. This was just a quick little article on Wikipedia about the Sydney trams. You know, the Sydney tram network served the inner suburbs of Sydney, Australia from 1879 until 1961. In its heyday, it was the largest in Australia, the second largest in the Commonwealth of Nations after London. Wow. You know, I mean, for good reason. London's London, right? But Sydney was just one behind. What the hell? So after London and one of the largest in the world, the network was heavily worked with about 1,600 cars in service at any one time at its peak during the 1930s. Today, about 500 trams in Melbourne Today network. Wow, just think about that. There was 1,600 trams in the 1930s in Sydney. Today in Melbourne, there's 500 roughly at any given time. Unbelievable. Patronage peaked in 1945 at 405 million passenger journeys. Its maximum street trackage totaled 291 kilometres, 181 miles in 1923. Wow, you know, I think it was the 1950s when the Sydney government, New South Wales government, decided to get rid of them, and by 1961, I'm pretty sure, the last Sydney tram left, and yeah, Sydney sliders have all been suffering these terrible decisions ever since. So I think if you're a government who doesn't have much money and you need to get a better public transport system, maybe look into the system then. But if you're someone with a pre-existing rail infrastructure, or if you do have a tram route and you want to extend another tram route somewhere else in your city, don't go tram and then trackless tram and then tram and trackless tram. Just, you know, keep it that same infrastructure in place. Make it easy for your city, for the generations of your city to work on that thing. Don't go down that path. Otherwise, once you've bought it and, you know, years later, people just regret it. I mean, you can't do much about it. You've spent all that money on this trackless piece of crap, and you should have went down the path of actually getting a tram or a streetcar instead. If you guys thought this was interesting, guys, we have two different YouTube channels. Channel 1 where we do fortnightly videos, and Channel 2, you're watching this right now on Channel 2, daily videos. Give us a like, subscribe, ring the bell. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you know, at Tallboy Gareth. That's, you know, the other thing you can find me on, you know. I've been tall. My name's Gareth, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, guys. Bye. Trams for life.